Miller outletting for Lampy. He's got speed, cutting in against Brian Miller, and a shot, he scores! Eric Lampy from the circle. There's the speed that makes him so dangerous, and it's 2-0 Las Vegas. The big ice that we talk about, normally such an advantage for the Aces. Lampy just went off to the races, caught the puck, and quick wrister away, blocker side past Coleman before Brian Miller could get there to deflect. And a quick pair of strikes for the Wranglers. 11:25. And the Ace, Bruton digs it free and just able to nudge it out to center. Medill carries back over the line. And the Vegas captain shot wide off the stick of Coleman. London getting away from Mazzolini. London, a backhand save, rebound, score! Las Vegas gets a rebound after a shot was knocked down by Coleman. And a very big goal for Las Vegas furthers their lead, 3-0 Wranglers. When there's still as much time left as there is, a 2-goal game, that next goal becomes absolutely huge. And MacArthur gets the goal. The assist goes to London. That line has been deadly for Las Vegas. And MacArthur, who had 5 points in 5 games, wasn't. Goers will keep in for Vegas. For MacArthur, gets bumped down by Swanson, poked along the boards. Now Fritsch for Campbell, deflected towards the slot, taken away Swanson. Out for Goldie, hits Kissel with speed, nice move, Kissel cuts in, forehand, he scores! A huge goal for Dan Kissel, and a beauty, gets the Aces on the board! The question was asked, who was going to step up? Who was going to take ownership? And how about that highlight reel goal? And check out the celebration or lack thereof from Dan Kissel. Inside out move around Barry Goers, one of the best in the league. And then forehand flip stick side on Fallon. His first goal, first point of the series. Welcome back here on the B&B Automatic Transmission Intermission Report before tonight's Game 4. Josh Bogart alongside one of the heroes so far offensively of the series for Las Vegas, Josh London. Josh, we appreciate you being here. After a Game 1 loss at home, especially with the 2-4-1 format, seems like there was a sense of urgency that the Wranglers have had the last 2 games. You haven't trailed. Describe what was said and what the mood was like in the locker room, knowing you were facing a 1-0 hole and how to get back this series.
Yeah, there's a definite sense of urgency in the room, and it's one of those formats that no one's really played with and no one's ever been a part of. So we knew those 2 games at home were huge, and to lose the first one, we knew we had to come out flying in that second game, and I think we did that. Our first 10 minutes were great, and they kind of pushed back after that, but we managed to capitalize on a couple of our chances there and got off to a quick lead, and tried to carry the momentum from Game 2 into Game 3, and it was a tight game. We won in overtime. It's not like we had control of the game by any sense, but goalies played great, and we just managed to capitalize on one of their mistakes.
In 2 of these games, Game 1 and Game 3, the team that has scored first has gone on to win, and there haven't been any lead changes. When you see the way it's worked out, where the margin between winning and losing is so paper thin, how much urgency is there even now that you're still up 2-1 to get those good starts and set the tempo?
Yeah, it's the third round of playoffs here, so every game you got to have that sense of urgency. It's do or die, whether your back's up against the wall or not. Every game counts, and we got 4 up in Alaska here, so this is Game 2 of 4. So we want to just come out and have our best game, work hard, and try and get that lead early. Like you said, it's been important in this series, and that's something that we're going to focus on tonight.
Let's talk about this place, a place you used to call home, Sullivan Arena, knowing that you had those 4 games in the middle. As a former Seawolf, you know about the big ice. Traditionally, it kind of works in the Aces' advantage because they're normally a quicker team than the opposition. I don't know if the same can be said. These are maybe the 2 fastest teams in the league. Do you guys in some way feel like the larger ice surface plays to a benefit of the Wranglers?
Well, Aces play on it all year, and we've had the chance to play on it, I think, 6 times this year. So we're not familiar with it myself. I've obviously had a pretty good stint up here, so I know what it's like. But for the rest of the team, I think we all skate well, and that's definitely one of our strengths. So we can't really say if it's a strength or weakness to our game because we haven't had the amount of games they've had, but it's something that we're just trying to work into our benefit and get pucks deep and let the forwards and the wingers that are fast users speed up the walls.
Josh London is our guest here on the B&B Automatic Transmission Intermission Report. Josh, you come back up here, you talk about knowing the building, you also know the city, you know some people from around town. To be playing in the conference finals, a chance to go battle for a Kelly Cup and do it in a place you're so familiar with, whether you're home or on the road. How's that been?
Yeah, it's been great. You know, it's great to come back up here and see some familiar faces and even have them the chance to come and watch me play, obviously not in a Seawolves uniform and not for the home team, but it's been great nonetheless, and you know, I love my time up here, and it's always fun to come back up.
Break down the first 3 games before we let you go. If there's something that you guys have seen that you think going forward might be the difference for either of these clubs between winning and losing, what would you key in on that's the biggest point of this series so far?
Well, I mean, there's no main point. I think it's a playoff series like any other, and you got to limit your mistakes. And when other teams make mistakes, you got to try and capitalize on those. So that's all we're trying to do out there. We're trying to keep it simple, nothing too special. There's no secret formula out there. It's just try and limit the turnovers, and when you have the chance to score, you know, try and bear down on your chance. That's really what it comes down to in the playoffs.
Former Seawolf Josh London, our guest from the Las Vegas Wranglers. Josh, we appreciate the time. Best of luck out there tonight.
Thank you.
And the wall, Fritsch getting tied up. 9 seconds left. The ace is down low, rolling in front. Shot scored by Anderson, but there's only 5 seconds left. Alaska's Anderson gets a goal. Extra attacker. Coleman will stay on the bench, but 5 seconds is all the Aces have to work with. Oh, what Alaska would give for another handful of seconds or minutes. Swanson on the draw against Lampy. And movement on the faceoff. Steve Glines will drop it. It's controlled back by the Aces, but the Aces will not catch up in time. And Las Vegas has pushed the defending champions to the brink of elimination. In the 24-year history of the ECHL, only 4 teams have ever come back from a 3-1 series deficit. That's what the Aces are facing. All the games, all the character tests, they will now be put on the line tomorrow night. The season is on the line. A virtual must-win becomes an actual must-win after a Wranglers 3-2 victory here tonight in Game 4.